So what is the purpose of this, right? The purpose of Git, right? It's a version control tool, right? It is version control tool. What is the main purpose of the Git? To control the version of code. Second would be what? Controlling the version of the code. Then taking the code from local to remote. So it's a sort of security. And then one more I had told is basically merging the code from different developers, right? So merging the code. Okay. How it works basically. So if you talk about the prime purpose, okay. So what is the prime purpose of Git? To take the code from local repo to remote repo. Right. So this is your repo. Let's say this is your project. What is the prime purpose? To take the project from your local repo, from your local machine, from your local repo to a remote repo. So this is nothing but remote repo. But there's a procedure for this. Where is the remote repo? This should be the first question. Where is remote repo? Okay, so there are multiple applications. My remote repo is in basically GitHub. Okay, and for that I need to sign up and register to GitHub, right? Sign up to GitHub. Then I cannot reach to the basically remote repo directly. So there's a procedure for that. So when I try to run first git command on it, let's say try to run git init on it or git status on it. So it will not work for a particular folder. This git command will not work. Okay. Let's say this folder has one file script.js. So for this particular folder, this command won't work because why? Because you may need to make this folder as a git folder. And to make this folder as a git folder, the command would be git init. Behind the scenes, what will happen? This is I just tell it for the explanation. Nothing like this. Behind the scenes, another two folders will be created. The purpose of this another two folder is basically this is called as working directory. This is called as working directory. This is called as staging, and this is called as local repo. To get the code into basically remote repo, which is GitHub, you need to follow all the steps. What are the steps? The first step is basically to take your code from working directory to staging, then from staging to local repo, and then from local repo to remote repo. And to do this, there are various git commands. Git command or git tool helps you to take the code from local machine to remote machine, but you cannot directly take it from work into remote repo. You have to follow a certain step. What are the steps? To take the code from working directory to staging, and from staging to then local repo, and from local repo to then remote repo. Is this fine? So let's quickly create one project. I created a project, and the project was created with Txt12. Name as Txt12. I moved to the project and opened it with Visual Studio Code. Let's say this is the project which is created. Let's say, for example, here I need to run the bunch of commands. Okay. So let's say I created one file which is info.txt for your info, and then I have one script.js file. So what I need to do here, let's say, for example, let's talk about the first command. Like, so let's say, for example, if I write something console.log hello, what is happening behind the scenes? If I just print it, it will get print. So nothing to worry about. I just want to open the terminal. So new terminal, terminal, new terminal. And here I want to run the git commands. You can run it from the CMD also. It's one and the same thing. Now if I try to run any git command on it, it will not work, right? Only the see, fatal, not a git repository. So to make it work right, basically we need to, first command is to basically initialize it with the git init command. Initialize. What is the purpose of this command? Initialize the git repo. Now this is to initialize the git repo. So now if I run this command, git status, it will basically not give me any output. But once I make it git init, I run this command. Now this folder is initialized with the git. So git status will basically give me the output now. See, it is giving me the output. What is the output? We'll talk on this. So git init to initialize the git repo. Once you are done with the git init, what will be happening? The structure will be like this. Working directory to staging, staging, staging to local repo, and local repo to remote repo. Is this clear? Is this clear to everyone? Just write yes in chat box. Fine. I see the max yes. Let's move ahead. So now the second thing we need to study is this. Now how to get the code from working directory to the staging. So to get the code from working directory to staging, there are two commands. The first command is git add dot. So git add dot tick will take. What is the purpose of this command? All files from working directory move to staging. Git. Then if you say git add file name, only one directory, only one file will move from working to working directory to staging. So let's say for this particular tutorial or for this particular scenario, I want to take every file from working to, let's say I want to take all the files from working to staging. So what I will be doing, it will saying git add dot. So if you see, and now if I run git status, so it will, these files are green. So git status, what is the purpose of this? This command gives you the status of which file is tracked. or untracked. Track. Okay. So I run the command git add dot, and now git status is green. If I want to, if I make some changes, let's say git log by, and then again if I do git status, it will show me there are changes. Let's see the modified, the file is modified. Okay, so it basically reflect the tracking of the file as well as will basically update or modify or what you say update you if there are changes within the file. Okay, so this is now we are already here. So we have taken the code from working to staging. Now from staging where you need to create the code to the local repo. So command for it will be git add, git commit, sorry, not add, git commit dash m for stand for message and the message. Let's say added. Save. So now if I run this above command, git commit dash m message. Now this code is basically going from working to sorry staging to local repo. So command is git commit dash m added. So this takes your code from staging to local repo. I ran this command, then I again if I make again one changes or any changes you make, let's you make the second change, say hello to, and if you basically again you need to add it, again you need to commit it, and again you need to. So once you commit, then you have to go back to remote repository which is GitHub. You need to move to the GitHub, create a folder there. Yeah. So quickly move back to the GitHub. You can say this is my GitHub. I'm already signed in. Sign in with your account. Enable. So you basically get into your GitHub account. Click here. Yeah. Go to your repositories. Create a new repository. I name the repository as sticks to 11, 12, let's say. And I basically make it public and create. Once we are done with creation of this, what you need to do, you need to simply take this, creating a branch here with git branch. So create a branch here. The next step will be basically connect this local remote repo to local repo. And then what you can do simply is basically push the code. So this is copy and this is basically run command to push the code. So this is basically the connecting. So if you just copy paste this command for your future reference. So the first command here is basically creating the branch. The second command is basically connect the local repo to remote repo. The third command is basically push the code from pushed the code from local to remote repo. Now let's say this is the basic flow. Now let's say again you want to basically add something to the local repo. Okay. So let's say I added something again here. If you see the code is here, right? If you basically go and click on the Dixit 12, you will see the two files, right? Info.txt and script.js. So we had done what successfully? We have created the Git project. We have taken the file from working to staging to local repo, and from local repo to remote repo. This much is clear. Type yes. Okay, let's move ahead. So now what we need to do again, we basically make some changes, right? So we make changes to our file, local file, and I will say git log and I will say hello3. So we make some changes and let's say, for example, again we need to do the command, right? We need to say git add dot, we need to say git commit added, and then you basically again, and then you say git push origin main you can do, right? And again that code will be on the remote machine. So you come here and you refresh this and you open this file, you will see that code. Okay, hello3. So this is the first part of Git, right? Let's talk about second part. Like they say there are three scenarios. Scenario one, I make changes to working directory and code stop working. Code stop working. Making working directory, working directory, working directory same as local repo. Last comment, that is last comment. Second scenario would be I make changes. I make change. I make changes in. I make changes in staging. Sorry, local repo, and add them to staging. I don't want to remove. Don't want to remove changes from staging. Sorry, from local repo. Working. Sorry, not local repo, for working directory. And only want to remove it for. Only want to remove it from staging. Then what is the command? And third scenario is I make changes. Make changes. So I make changes. I add it to staging and I commit it also. Commit it also. Now want to remove the commit as code is not working. So I just want to remove the commit because my code is not working. So these are the three scenarios, let's say. First, I will explain on the backboard. Then I will basically explain it on the actual by doing the practical thing. I'm audible? Say yes to everyone. Say yes, everyone. Okay. So, what you need to do here, let's say for example, uh, if you move back to the whiteboard, these are the three scenarios. The first scenario is where you make the changes here. It has basically one line of code, one line of code. From here, you make the changes to here. Let's say you push the changes here, so it is also having the one line of code, one line of code. Then from here, you also push it to the local repo. So this is script.js. There's two line of code. And from this local repo to remote repo, let's say again two lines of code. There is one file and two lines of code. Two lines of code. Now what you need to do here, in this case, in this scenario, what you need to do? You need to take. So everything is working fine here till this point. Now why I'm writing it two. Here is one only, right? One line of code and one line of code. One. It's a mistake. Everyone is having one line of code. Now suddenly you added one here, five lines, right? If you added five lines here suddenly, five more lines added, five lines added. Now here you add the five lines. Now what is the problem here? You add the five lines and the code stops working. So what you need to do? You need to remove this working directory because we only see the working directory. You have to remove these changes from working directory and make it similar to the last commit. So when you make it similar to the last commit, obviously these file lines will be removed. This is scenario one. Is this clear? Type yes if this is clear. Now the second thing, what is the second scenario? So second scenario is that you added something five lines here and you also take that five lines from working to staging. So five lines here also. So five lines in working directory and from working directory you have taken the five lines to the staging also. Now from the staging, okay, so working directory you have five lines. You have taken that five lines from working directory to staging also. Now you have to just remove it from here. You don't want to remove it from the working directory because you want your changes to be there. You just want to remove it from your what you say staging. You want to make your staging similar as basically the last commit. Making the staging similar as last commit. So the five lines will be here only, right? But it will be removed completely removed from here. Where it will be removed from here. Fine. It will remove from here, right? Not from the working. It will remove from the staging only. This is the second scenario. Now, what is the third scenario? Third scenario is that you have you are basically having the code. Okay, this is the third scenario. You're having the code in working, you're having the code in staging, also having the code in, you basically also commit the code, the five lines added here. Now again, everything stop working, right? So you have to remove it from the commit also. So you need to remove you need to change your last commit. So these three scenarios I will be doing in 5 minutes, okay? So first is basically you make changes on the working directory, everything stop working, so you have to make the working directory similar to your last commit. What is the second scenario where you have basically make the changes to working directory, also add it to staging. Now you want to just unstage it from staging, not from working directory. So there is a command. Third scenario is that you add it to the working, you add it to the staging, and then you basically commit also. Now you have to undo your commit. Is this fine? Say yes. Three scenarios clear? Okay. Now what we need to do, I will stop it here. I will go back there, right? Starting with scenario one, right? So what is this? I am making changes here, console.log. So I think so you can check, right? You can check your all commit. So there are commands for this. If you want to check your all commit, you can say git log. If you want to check latest commit, then you can check say git show head. That will show you the latest commit. If you want the difference between working directory and staging, then there is a command which is git diff file name. So quickly we'll see these three commands. So if I say git log, I will be getting all the commits. And now I think this project has only two commits. So I'll be getting the two commits. Okay. This is my latest commit. Whatever is written by the head will be my latest commit. Okay, fine. So git log will give me all the commit information. And if I just want the information of the latest commit, then I will see git show head. So git show head will give me the update on the latest commit. Git show head. See, it gives me the difference between working and staging. Okay. Yeah. So not working and staging, git show head will give me the information about the latest commit. And now let's say if I make changes somewhere here and I say basically console.log, I say hello 4. Now whatever the changes I am making it to the working only. So this is working directory. So I can only see the working directory. Imaginary folders which are what you say staging and local repo are hidden. So now what happens? Now here if I want to see there is a difference between the working directory and staging directory. So working directory and staging directory difference can be found with git diff. So if you say git, you do git diff and you say enter, you see there is a basically these are the changes between your working directory and staging directory, including both the files. Yeah. So now how you basically remove the changes or differences from working directory to changes working directory to staging. There's a command, right? Which command? Git add dot. So git add dot take your code from working directory to staging. Okay, but let's talk about our first scenario. Let's first commit everything. So we are on the same page. So you say git add, git commit, and git push. So now this is what it is, right? You say git push. Now the complete code is pushed to local remote repo. So we have everything working as well as in local as well as in remote repo. Stay a local repo and remote repo. Now suddenly I make changes on the working directory. So how I make changes? I write something here. Okay. So let's say suddenly I come here and I make changes. I say I am from Pune. So Pune developer makes some changes and everything stop working. Right now I need to make this working directory similar to my last commit. Making working directory similar to the last commit. The command is git checkout head file name. Git checkout head file name. So this will make your working directory similar to the last commit, whatever the last commit you have. So if you see this, if I go here and if I make the changes, I say head git checkout head file name. What is the file name? Script.js. So now this file will be again similar to my last commit, and this I am working from Pune will be removed. See, you see the line I am from Pune is removed. Why it is removed? Because you have make now your working directory similar to the last commit. Is this clear? First scenario? First scenario is clear? Okay. Now the second scenario. I make changes on the, again I can make only the changes on working directory only. So I make changes here, and here I basically have the message. Let's say I am from Pune. So this is the message. I am from Pune. This much is also fine, right? I am from Pune. Okay. Now what is happening? I So if you do basically see git diff now, you will find the difference, right? So git diff, you see git diff, you will basically find the difference, right? Because there is a difference between working and staging. What I will do, I will remove that difference, right? How can I remove the difference? There is a command, right? Which is git add. Okay. So there is a command which is git add dot. So what git add dot do? It will basically remove the difference. It will take everything from working to staging. So now let's say for example, if I go here and see here, right? I can basically get this is the command, right? So everything is now working from in same thing is in working and staging. There's no difference, right? Now there's a command which basically removes the code from only staging, not working directory. So there's a command. The command is git reset head file name, and I can only I can only test whether the things are removed from staging or not, because all the time I am working on the with directory. All the time I'm working on the current directory. Let's say for example, save. I make the changes here. I add it to the staging. I just want to remove it from the staging. So git reset head file name. File name is what? Script.js. And if I click here, so now the things are removed from the staging. How can I confirm that? When you remove the thing from the staging, again there will be a difference in working and staging. So if you say git diff again, and you enter, you see there is a difference now again. I have removed the differences before, right? But now there is a difference again because I have unstage some code to just make my staging similar to my last commit, that is local repo. This was scenario 2. Now let's do another scenario where you basically let's add everything again, and let's say git add dot, then you say git commit, you say added, and then again you push the code. So once you push the code, let's say now everything is working fine. Okay. What I have done again, I am basically changing. So I have changed something here. I'm saying hello, I am from Pune, or let's say Nagpur. So let's say I am from Nagpur. I add it to the staging, so git add dot, and I also git commit also. So I add it to the, I basically commit the code also. And I will just do CLS to get the clear command prompt. And what I need to do, I will basically get say git. First here I will do is git log. So when you say git log, you will see all the commit till the date, right? All the commit till date. Now which one is the latest commit? One you see with the head is the latest commit. And because of that commit, because of the changes, everything stopped working. So what I need to do, I don't want this to be as my head commit. I want to completely remove this commit and make this commit, which is origin main, this commit as my last commit. So what I need to do, I need to basically completely remove the commit, and that can be done with this key. On whatever commit you want to go, just take the 7 characters of that. So let's say I have taken the 7 characters of this. So now what you do, you just simply go to the command prompt. You want to make this as your head commit, right? This. Okay. Let me again show you CLS. So this is your head commit, and everything stopped working. So now you want to remove this commit and make this as your head commit. So to make this as your head commit, what you need to do, you need to take the 7 characters, right? So git reset and pass the 7 characters. So now what will happen? The above commit will be automatically removed. So let's do this command first, then do CLS. Now your head commit is changed, right? So your head commit is now whatever we have used, 7 characters we have used, and one commit got successfully removed because it was not working. So to do this, there is a command. For scenario 3, the command is you need to use that 7 keys. So you say git reset, and these are the 7 keys. First, making working as similar to staging. Sorry, working as similar to local directory, which is commit. Second is basically making the staging similar to commit, and third is basically directly removing the commit. If this much is clear, please type yes. Everyone. Fine. Now we need to understand the branching, right? How the branching works, right? Let's say for example, I'm audible. Let's say for example, I have one folder here. I have one folder here. This folder is my project folder. And this project folder name is, let's say I have already made it as 6 to 12. I made it as 6 to 12. So what will happen in 6 to 12? Let's say for example, this is 6 to 12. There are 3 things. There's one file called as script.js. The project is already started. File called as script.js. It has 20 lines of code. And now the another 3 developers have joined, right? And the task given to 3 developers. There's a task given to 3 developers. The first task to the developer given to the developer was, let's say, the task one is to basically, so this is developer A, let's say this is developer B, and this is developer, let's say C. The task to the first developer is basically to implement the login with Facebook. Login with Facebook. Login, let's say Facebook. Here, for the second is login with Gmail, and third login with LinkedIn. So log in with Facebook, log in with Gmail, and log in with LinkedIn. Is this fine? Now what we need to do, let's say these three people will work simultaneously, not one after another, right? Okay. First thing they need to do is basically take this project into their. So here is one branch. When you basically have the code on the remote, now there is one branch which we created only, and the branch name was main. So here there is a main branch, and this is remote main branch. So what first these three developers will not set the project by themselves, right? First thing what they will do, they will basically clone this project. So when you clone the project, you will be having also script.js file with 20 lines of code. Similar is the case for all, right? When they clone the code, script.js cloning means basically copying the project into a local machine. So here is also 20 lines of code, and here is also script.js. Again, it will be a 20 line of code, 20 lines of code. Now they clone the project, and they have 20 lines of code. When they clone the project, all the remote repositories will be there. So this will have his local main branch. We have just cloned the code. That's why here this and this, the number of lines of code will be same. Here is also here is also one, what you say, main branch, and here is also one, what you say, main branch. So you have one main branch here, one main branch here, here and here. So these are the local main branches. When you take the pool from here, the main branch and this main branch are similar. Now what you need to do, you need to basically start writing the code. So this will be people will write the code simultaneously, not waiting for each other, right? So what I will do, I will basically from this main branch, I will create another branch. So there's a command to create another branch. So what I will doing, I will be basically copying the command from the. So this is basically creating my own branch. So own branch, let's say I name this branch as A, then I will name this branch as B, and then I will name this branch as C. So now my ABC branch, which are my, by default, when you make the branches, it will have the similar code as it has on the main. So anyways, here will be script.js, script.js, and 20 lines. Because we just created a branch from the main branch and we were updated with the main branch. So when you create a branch, by default, the same line number of codes will be there. So here it is, let's say script.js. Again, here is 20 lines. Then script.js again. Again, here is 20 lines. Now, what is the next step? So next step is what? Let's say he will write the code on this branch, which is A branch, right? So he will basically added 5 lines of code. Now the total number of lines are 25 for A. Okay, and his functionality is completely developed. So what he will do? He will not merge the code on this merge the code from this A branch into this A branch. He will not merge the code like that, right? What he will do, he will push this A branch to remote repo. He will directly push this local remote A branch to remote repo here only. Now here is a branch. So this was the A branch of local machine, but now you have the A branch of remote machine also. From here, what he will do, he will raise the pull request, pull and compare request. Why? Because he wants someone to remove his code and give the updated comments on the same, right? Once everyone is satisfied that the code written is good and according to the specification and what is the required, Then what will they will do? They will basically merge the code from the A branch into the remote main. If they will take the code from remote A branch to the remote main branch. Now everything is updated with the main. So main will be also having now 25 lines of code in total. Main and the remote A branch are equal now because merging is done. So I can delete this branch and I will also delete this branch. Which branch? This branch. Complete branch I will delete. But deleting this branch won't help. Let's say these people are working with the 20 lines of code. First thing at the morning, what they need to do, they need to take the pull of this main branch. So once they basically take the pull of the main branch, what will happen next? Their local main branch will get updated with 25 lines of code. Once they are done with their line of codes, they will push it to again where they will this B will push the basically this B will push the code to remote repo. Now here will be remote repo B. Again there will be compare and pull request. If successful is something everything is fine successful, this will delete this branch as well as delete the remote B branch because there will be a lot of branches if you don't delete it, right? And they hold no significance as they hold no significance because the main branch and the B branch were same, right? Okay. Now the once this is done, then again C need to take the pull to basically update his main, right? So let's say he added this people this B has also added 5 lines. So 5 plus 5 10, right? So now the B C does not have the updated code. So what he need to do, he need to take pull. Clear? He need to basically take the pull. To why he is taking the pull to basically update his main branch. So updated main branch will be 25 now. Sorry, not 25, 30 now. And now he can do his work adding 35 lines and then he need to push the code into where remote repo. He will push his remote completely C repo to the remote repo. Here will be also will be a round of what you say. He will merge this code into main branch. So main branch is again 25. He will delete this branch. He will also delete this branch. Once the work is done, delete the branches. So this is overall what you say branching system. Fine. Tomorrow we'll see the